Junior, Senior.
G'day everybody, it's Senior here from Junior Senior Gaming, and with me today reading chat, but will be in the background there helping out, we have Lean. G'day Lean.
Hello.
Now, I have a special treat for you guys. A very special treat. We have let me see, is it the creator and the owner of CloudWeight Studios? It's Nikko Stevens. G'day Nikko. Oh, has he just stepped away for a second? Nikko, you there? Hello, Nikko.
See, yeah. What's going on?
Oh, you there, mate?
Oh, yeah. I couldn't hear you. It was completely silent, so I couldn't hear anything.
Did you have it turned off again?
Oh dear, that's all right. All right, so we have Nikko here from CloudWeight Studios. So welcome, mate, and thank you very much for coming on to our show today.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Glad to be here.
So, could you just introduce yourself a little bit and just tell us why you chose Jidousha Shakai as the game to create, and what drove you to develop this game?
So basically, I was playing Forza Horizon one day, and I know everybody loves Forza Horizon, but it was the first one, and that's like one of my favorite games, I'd say. But the tuning and the customization was really limited, and there hadn't been a Need for Speed game really that everyone was like, whoa, this is amazing, this has everything that I wanted. So I wanted to take under the task of creating a game like that, and at the time I didn't realize how big it was going to have to be and all the work that would go into it, and especially me being a single developer. So it's definitely been a journey for me, but basically I've loved cars all my life, so I've created like little FPS games and other odd ends, but I'd say this game has been the one that's stuck with me the most, just because it's about cars. That's how much I love cars, and
Yeah.
I know everybody else loves cars just as much as me. So I just feel like it'd be a great game to develop, and over the years I've taken in like a lot of suggestions and looked at what people commented on YouTube, why doesn't EA bring back this game? Why don't they have this kind of customization? So I'm kind of taking like the best of the best from all these games and just putting it into mine. So that's why I think it'd be a really good game in the future, and so I'm happy to create it.
Cool. So it all started with Forza, as I suppose it does with a lot of people. A lot of people see Forza and go, "Oh yeah, I got to play that. That's a really cool game." So
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean, yeah. Mostly, it mainly started with like Need for Speed Underground. I was like, I want to create a game like this, but I was like 12, 13 at the time. But then I guess Forza Horizon 1, it just really sparked my interest again, and it really got the ball rolling with everything.
Oh yeah.
So there's that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, could you tell us briefly what Jidousha... Now, I'm saying this incorrectly. Now, can you please just say it correctly for all of us, because I'm really trying hard to say it correctly.
Yeah, it's Jidousha Shakai, but as I was saying, you can leave off the E at the end and just say Jidousha Shakai. That's fine too, but
So,
I'm pretty sure people won't get too mad at that.
Jidousha Shakai. Is that better?
Right, yeah.
Jidousha Shakai. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'll really try hard to remember that, but it's just spelt the way it's spelt. It sort of messes it up for me. So,
Yeah.
So could you tell us briefly exactly what it's about for those people who have never ever heard of this game, never seen it before? Just let them know what it's all about.
So pretty much, just like the description on the screen, so it says it's all about customization mainly. There's other aspects of the game like the open world and all that stuff, but the main point of this game is customization. But the customization wouldn't be anything without the social aspect of the game. So I'd say multiplayer and other things like that are really going to play a big part. And just like the name translates, it's an automobile society. So it's a very like specialized community, and it's a very like niche game too. So that's what makes it a little bit harder. But I'd say that's basically the gist of it. So I mean, it's not just a racing. I mean, it's not just like a drifting game. It's more you can come in, tune your car however you want with drag tires, dirt tires, rally. Go in the snow, go swamp riding, go rock climbing. Any of that kind of thing. So like not just limited to stancing cars. In the future I want to have like diesel trucks. Maybe rolling some coal. Some nice muscle cars, have some engines popping out, have some dual stands going on, maybe some burnout contests. On top of that, I'd also like, other aspects of the game that are more keen to like, the open world aspect. So, I mean, I'd like integrated like car meets. So in the future, I want to be able to, have, say you can get out your car and go like look at other people's car in certain car meet sections.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's like a really like open game, and just mainly to have fun and socialize within the automobile society, quote unquote.
Yeah. Well, I think you've just triggered off a whole heap of people's interest just then with the comment that you said trucks, diesel trucks with rolling coal.
Yeah.
And that in itself, and especially in the junior senior gaming community, is something that a lot of people have actually been requesting for in games, and it's just, I think that alone is going to trigger a lot of people's attention. So yeah, that's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for that. Like drag trucks and stuff would be awesome. That would be pretty cool as well. So you can get a couple of them. Yep.
Sorry, Senior, to interrupt, but the guys want to know if you can turn the in-game sounds down a little
Yep.
bit so they can
Done.
hear Nikko
I did
a
that
bit
just
better.
then.
Okay, there you go, guys.
Yep. Sorry. So yeah, I just did that when you mentioned it, so it's all good. Right. So what's your vision? You just briefly said a little bit of the vision there. So about what other things you'll be getting in there, but what is your ultimate vision of this game going to be? So
mainly, okay, it might sound a little far-fetched, but I want to be a competitor to, like a Need for Speed or Forza Horizon game. And I mean, obviously that's going to take a long time, and it might take multiple titles of Jidousha Shakai. It might not be the first one, it might not be the second one. It might be the third one that gets really big and, hits off. But I mean, obviously that's like years down the line.
yeah.
But I if I'm not a direct competitor, I'd like to at least be, like a considerable like change in the market and the gaming industry, because I know a lot of people want a lot of things that I'm doing for the game. So I mean, hopefully that'll like spark interest, and maybe it'll make other developers want to do this same thing. So I mean, I think it'd be really good in the end.
Now, I know that we've actually spoken before, Nikko and I, and one of the things you've said to me, which got me when we first started talking, is that you're actually a one-man band. Is that right?
Yeah, completely.
So, one of the things I was wanting to ask you is, in the future, are you going to plan on getting some more team, or are you just going to completely do this by yourself?
I think it'd be selfish to say that I want to just do it by myself, but I mean, because mainly the game was mainly just a learning project at first, and I kind of just posted screenshots here and there to my friends, and I created a group, and then it just started getting a following, so it kind of turned into more of a commercial project. And I mean, later down the line, I can say now, I guess it's kind of my job now. So I'd say like mainly right now, it's just me. It's just gonna be me. I don't really have interest in getting other people onto it right now, just because where the game is at. It's very early, and I want to see like where it goes before I try and to get other people on board. Because I mean, obviously they're not gonna do it for free, and I'm gonna need some kind of money to be able to pay them too. So I mean, it's all.
And of course, your budget as well has to coincide with that as well, doesn't it? So
right, yeah, of course. So I mean, the most cost-effective way right now is to be just me. And The development might be a little bit slower, but I mean it's definitely a good learning process, and I mean I've already learned a ton, you know, just by doing this, and it's only been like 2 years, I think. So I mean, you know, I'm definitely keen to see what the future will hold.
So you've been working on this for 2 years.
Mainly the physics have been 2 years, and then the main game has been about like half a year, I think.
Oh, okay, I see. Yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah. So like the main physics, and because I mean it's not an easy thing to create, and a lot of people I think take that for granted because I mean there's mostly like big teams behind really good physics engines, and you know they could create a physics engine in a couple months maybe.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean mainly the years were just spent fine tuning, you know, trying to get it really dialed in. So.
Cool. So.
Yeah.
With what can the current fans expect from Jidousha Shakai soon? So what sort of updates are coming soon? Can you give us any meaty sort of bites?
Well, apart from videos that I posted online, I'd have to say obviously, you know, the big update that I'm working on, it's going to be including, you know, the wide body kits, more cars, interior customization, and some other like small things. I mean, obviously there's gonna be a lot of bug fixes and stuff like that. There's also gonna be new systems. Like I've just implemented a way to change your car. You know, so I mean now you don't have to be stuck to one car. You can have, you know, basically unlimited cars as long as your computer can handle it. You know, okay. Size wise. Yeah. So I mean, in the future I'd like to, you know, adjust it maybe to sort it out and make it easier to find a different car. But you know, I mean, I'd say just that. I mean, it really opens up the game. So, I mean, there's that. And I'd say the next big thing would be multiplayer, which is something I've been looking to heavily because it's been such a big request. But I don't want to just dive into it, you know, without doing my research because I've done multiplayer games before, but something on this scale needs like to be very intricate and, you know, finely programmed to work very good. So
yeah.
I don't want to just dive in head first and like, oh, you know, well, we got this and this might not work, but you know, at least we got online. You know, that's just not how I roll.
Yep.
So a lot of people don't like that because I won't push out an update just so you can get content. I want to, you know, make sure it's fine tuned, and I don't want it to be basically how the launch update was because it was really broken. I won't lie, and that's why the launch. The day one update had to be put out just because I was rushing it out and I wanted people to like know the game, and you know, so I mean that's not what I'm about. So like that's why I don't like working on timelines also.
Yeah. So I'm actually having a look at those pictures you sent me earlier, and one of the things that just blows me away is this wide body kit that you've got here.
Yeah.
It is just unreal. And I mean, this is just one body kit on one car, and it's going to have a whole heap of different cars in the game from what you've been telling me, and that means there's going to be a whole lot of different wide body kits and stuff like that as well. Now, will you be able to interact these parts, like, you know, change the parts from, say, you know, say you like the body kit on the Mustang, or if there's going to be a Mustang in there, and you want to put it on the, you know, the 180, will that be an option, or is that something that you haven't thought of yet?
I've gotten a couple of I'd say requests for it. I personally wouldn't want to do it mainly because I want the game to be scalable onto different consoles and platforms in general. But you know, through the mod tools, you guys could definitely have your own body kits, or you know, if you want to pull the body kit from the Mustang and put it on a bus or something, you know, like you guys could definitely do that. And that's like the joy of, you know, the mod tools. So I mean, I'm definitely waiting to get those out too.
Oh, so that's going to be very interesting, that with what you're talking about there, mod tools, but we'll actually talk about that a little bit more later. So another question, which is just, I have to ask you, will there be any legendary cars in here, like the Toyota AE86 and you know, Mazda RX7, that is going to be incorporated as a base car in the game? not a modded car. I mean a base car that you can choose from.
Yeah, I mean, like everything, the game has a very big Japanese influence, so I think it'd be doing a disservice to say that those cars wouldn't be in there. So I mean, obviously I'd want those cars, and you know, other things like the chaser and you know stuff along that line. But I mean, I'd obviously right now it's not in there. I'm not sure when it would be in there, but depending on how big the request is for it, it would definitely like push it up in order, I'd say.
So, if I was to request the AE86 like 100 times to you, hey Nikko, can you do the AE86? 86, come on Nikko, I gotta have the AE86. So that pushes it up, does it, or?
They might push it down.
Oh, hang on. Better stop with that. In case you guys don't know, I actually own my very own AE86, and it is my very, very favorite car in the world. So if I actually saw that in this game, that would sell me completely. Especially if it was actually, if it drove just like the real car. But having driven 180SX before, having said, this car actually does drive just like the real thing, and that's what I'm blown away with this game, how it handles and that. So it's so close to reality. The real thing is unreal. So what about RX7? Anything? So again, it's just a matter of people, you know, requesting it and that sort of thing on the forums. Would that be the place that people would request it?
Either the Steam forums or the website forums, I'd say. I'd say most of the legendary and popular cars will be in, because I mean, obviously you can't have a game without those, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, other cars that are more like hidden gems, I'd say, they'd have to be requested. Because I mean, obviously, if just one person says it, I can't just be like, yeah, I'll put that game in. I mean, I'll put that car in there too. But if it has like a good like following and a lot of people are requesting it, it definitely move it up and have a higher chance of being put in the game.
Any chance of getting rid of these bloody curbs in the street curbs that are in the middle of the road? I keep running over the bloody things.
Yeah, I've got a lot of complaints about that. Mainly the medians and the light poles.
Yeah, light poles are fine. It's just the medium strip throws me right off. So, all right.
Probably going to be getting them all together.
Now, can we look forward to American muscle cars and modifications? So you know, like your Mustang and that.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. Because, you know, like I mentioned before, I drive a 08 GT500 and a Honda. So I mean, just driving that car and knowing what it can do and its potential and the different characteristics and how it behaves, I definitely say it's a really good candidate for even being maybe the first muscle car in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, most definitely, they're going to be muscle cars.
That would be really exciting. I mean, to have like a big thumping muscle car, you know, smashing around a track or something like that. Especially, you know, having one that's skinned up like, you know, those what is it? I think it's the G-Ready guys that drift over in America.
Yeah.
Those guys, they have their cars done up really nice. So that'd be good to see. Now, follow-up question. If the muscle cars are being added, will you be able to interchange the parts with other cars? So, out of stupid question, if I wanted to put a, say for example, the, let's see, the 13B rotary, if I wanted to chuck one of those in a muscle car, would that be an option?
Most definitely, yeah. I don't see a problem with that. Because, I mean, now, you know, you can put a GT40 racing engine in 240, so I mean, I don't think a 13B muscle car would be too far off, so...
So I'm just going back into the garage now to show people, but you can already do that now, can't you? So you can interchange some of the engines that's in here. So
yeah.
if we go all the way up to the upgrades, here we are here. Like I can go and throw in a 2JZ into this car. So it just that is an option that I think not many games have actually done a lot of. They've pretty much stuck with you can upgrade little bits here and there, but not to the extent that this seems to be following. It seems to be going in a direction of just unlimited sort of modifications by the sound of it.
Yeah, I mean, well, the game is based on customization, so I mean, I'd like to have a lot, and just, I mean, I wouldn't say unlimited, but I'd say the horizon is very high.
Now, one of the other things that was really intriguing me is, will there be a currency system? Because having a look in the garage here, you can see that there's money that you can use, but there's no currency system here at the moment. So is there a currency system that's going to be implemented in the game? And what will we do for cash?
Currently, there actually is a currency system. I just gave you guys unlimited money because I wanted to see how different part pricings and how that would work out. Because mainly, I didn't want to just make everything, like a very like set number. Just this is 1,000, this is 2,000, this is 3,000. I wanted to experiment with different pricings and see how they work out. But I mean, obviously, everyone as soon as they get in the garage, they usually just max out the engine anyways. So I guess it wasn't a very good choice on my part. So
you could have just asked me that one. I would have told you straight away. Yeah, everyone's just going to max everything out and go crazy.
Yeah, but mainly the main ways to make money would obviously be through the progression. I'm not sure on which main parts of the progression will be money wise, like say like a story or like different events in single player or multiplayer. I'll obviously explore that more at the time when they're closer to becoming in. But I mean, right now I could I could only really speculate with you guys, on how you would make money.
So it's a money system. There's so many different avenues that you can actually go with that. Where you want to take it. Like you can go and say, like if you're doing a storyline, you could say someone races up to you and says, such and such is drifting down at the track and he's beating everyone. Go down there and make sure you go and beat them, or something like that. And then you got to go down there and whip their ass, and then you get paid. You get their pink slip or something. I don't know.
Right.
Something like
Most
that.
Definitely. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of ways. Before, when the first avenue I was going through was drift points, but I mean, everybody does that. Every single game has drift points. So I mean, I want to see more unique solutions to getting money. So I wouldn't want to. I mean, obviously you can just. Okay, I had a brain fart.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay. We can come back to that. That's all good. Okay, so will you be making... Now, you did briefly touch this before, but can you elaborate a bit more on making a map maker, or will you be making a map maker, or will there be access to Blender or 3D Studio Max, or how are you going to approach with people making new maps and stuff like that?
So basically, I wanted to have a full-featured map editor. I've kind of dabbled with it before, maybe like a year ago. I sent like a little test to one of my friends, and he was importing models, and he had a map up in a couple minutes. So I mean, I definitely want to go that route where you could say you just start off with an empty plot of land. You can edit the terrain. You can import your models and place them if you want. You could. I wanted to hook up directly to a road API, so you can just create your roads instead of having to import road meshes. So I think that'd be a nice tool too. And place trees, place vegetation, all that kind of stuff. Mainly what you see in the other full-featured map makers. I want to have that, so then it'll like write to a file, and then you could upload that to the Steam Workshop, or you could copy it yourself and upload it onto another website. So you won't be like hindered by just having to make a whole map in 3ds Max or anything like that. You could make certain models, import it into the game, and use the game's tools to make your map while also including your models. And I think that'd be a very good system instead of having to make one whole map file because you know there's already problems with that dealing with physics and collision and stuff like that. So, you know.
So, just on a different game, a very popular game that we actually play at the moment is American Truck Simulator. Now, with their actual modding, their map-making system, it's incorporated right inside the game. And you can basically put trees in there and roads and whatever you want just by entering the command prompt. So is that sort of thing that you're looking at?
I'm looking more of like an in-game system. I'd want it to be fully GUI based, so you don't have to like type in weird commands or anything like that. You know, everything will just be on screen. And mainly, I want to like focus on ease of use really.
Okay, cool. So it should be easy enough for anyone to use.
Yeah, man. I want someone to be able to pop in, click on something, and just start placing whatever they want to do. Mainly, I don't know if you ever played any kind of a roller coaster type games. Mainly more focused on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Now, you briefly did mention online before. Now, when online does decide to come out, will you be looking at some sort of championships or something like that? So every year we have, the Jidousha Shakai drifting championship and stuff like that. Is that something that you envisioned, or?
I'd definitely be open to it. However, the cost and setting up stuff like that would have to be looked over and seeing, how the budget would be. But I mean, I definitely think it'd be a really cool aspect to have different events and championships and things like that.
The main reason that I asked that question is because in today's day and age, the world of online gaming championships is just phenomenal at the moment. And by those companies that are actually doing that with their games, even older games that you can see, like StarCraft is doing it, they actually get such a strong following because of that championship, because people get to see the best of the best playing against each other. So that was the only reason why I thought that would be sort of something of interest, because people could do that in this, compete against each other, and it really would be good to see the best of the best people drifting against each other.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. I know like Forza has the ESDA and stuff like that, so it'd definitely be cool to see if we can get something like that going for JS. So I mean, who knows what the future holds? I definitely wouldn't throw it on the back burner. I mean, it'd definitely be something to consider in the future.
Cool. So that would be really good. Yeah. Now, with the customization being a big part of the game, will the player be able to add custom paint schemes and more? Now, when you mentioned about the modding, you mentioned more about the actual car itself, as in what parts and stuff. But if, say, for example, we wanted to have a junior senior gaming custom paint job installed in there, would we be able to do that?
Yeah, you would. I've inside the game files. There's also there's a decal creator. I just haven't exposed it to the menus yet because I'm still working on it. But it's more I'd say it's more along the lines of a Forza decal creator, except I added a way to import your own graphics, so you don't have to be constrained by boxes and squares and odd shapes. You could just make something in Photoshop and import it directly into the game. Apply it to your car, and then you can be set.
Now, you don't actually have to answer this if you don't want to. This is more of a intriguing question. You said it's there now. If we didn't actually have a menu, if we went into the files itself, could we still access it?
I'm not so sure. I haven't experienced anybody being able to really, I'd say, like recompile or hack a Unity game. So
so it's deep within the code, so it's not, until there's a menu you won't be able to access it. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much hard coded in there. It's not like available in any kind of levels right now. So I'd say it'd be pretty hard. You know, you'd have to probably reverse engineer the whole game and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, that was just a little question because some games I've found before where they've got hidden programs inside that which you can't access within the game, but you can by going through the actual back end of the game, not hacking it, but just it's there free for anyone to use.
Right. Yeah. I try to keep any holes closed until until the content is ready to be used. But I mean, if someone finds out how to use it, I mean, I guess more power to them.
But we don't want to break your game, so we'll just stick to and wait for it to come out. Then how about that?
Yeah.
Is there any intentions to take the game to online other platforms other than PC? I know you briefly mentioned that before, but is there anything that comes to mind most of all, like Xbox or something?
I've talked with some other people about this, and I would do want to get the game onto Mac, Linux, Steam OS, stuff like that. But I think it'd be a little bit hard to get onto Xbox. I feel like there'd be a better chance of getting onto PlayStation, mainly because if the game does get a really big following and people like it, I have to say it'd be a direct competitor with Forza, and Microsoft wouldn't like that too much. So I'd say it'd be pretty hard to get onto them. But PlayStation, on the other hand, since it'd be a competitor to Forza, I think it'd be a lot easier to get onto PlayStation per se.
Now, one of the things, though, if you do that, you will probably... do you think you lose the drivability of how it really feels? Because in PC, it's just great. I love how this handles and feels. Do you think any of that might be lost at all, or?
I haven't experimented with the PlayStation hardware, but the physics are mainly built on performance. So there are some things that lack in on the calculations department, I'd say, but nothing that would generally compromise the simulation. So I've had people run the game on really old hardware, and they get really good frame rates. So I'd say just from a physics standpoint, I have to say there wouldn't be a compromise, unless I was trying to push out some really realistic graphics where the computing power would be significantly chopped down by that. But from right now, I would say no. But if the time does come to where I can get it onto a console like the PlayStation, I'd have to experiment and get back to you on that.
Yeah. But that would sort of be a big sort of milestone, though, wouldn't it? It's not something that's going to happen overnight, because first you got to get it working really well on PC, and then you've got something to take to actual PlayStation. So it still would be a while away.
Yeah, I'd say years down the line.
Yeah, but still, it's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, they'd have a direct competitor to, like, say, Forza Horizon, and I'm pretty sure the PlayStation people would love that. So
now, I know that you did mention before about having ice, off-road, and other dirts and stuff like that. So is that going to be an option that's going to be for every car, or are you going to make it so that you have to have a special car, like a rally edition of a Escort or something like that?
Well, I'd say any car, because I don't want to confine people to certain cars and things like that. So I'd want you to be able to go grab a Mini Cooper and throw, rally suspension and dirt tires on it, and go take it off-roading if you want. So I mean, I don't want you to have to go buy a special edition of a car, because that just makes more work when you really could just support every car instead of just 5 cars. I don't really see the point in that, unless you're trying to push some kind of like DLC or something like that.
Like a special promo car or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you said before modding will be available to the community, so that's good. Now, is there anything that we haven't covered in modding that would be of that you might want to mention at all? Anything else that you'd like to add that we haven't talked about with modding, or we've pretty much covered that?
I'd say modding, I think it's going to be a big part in this game. Mainly what I want to have is, I don't want you to just be able to put in a car and drive it around. I want you to be able to put in a car with certain parts so it'll act just like an in-game car. So really you'll have like full support of customization instead of putting an already tuned car in there. So, I mean, other than that, I'd say there's obviously going to be map modding, and when multiplayer does come, I do want to have server-sided mods, so you don't have to download them yourself. You can just have, your certain mods on the server. Now, how that works out, it all depends on the mod maker, I'd say, because if he makes a fully tunable car in single player, and you try to take it on to a server, I'd have to say it'd be based on the server and the maker of the mod. So I mean, when I do get to that point, I'll explore solutions. But for now, yeah, I'd say the main modding support that'll be coming is cars and maps, and then later down the line we can look at server-sided mods and maybe other types of mods. If people want to recommend some kind of things. I've heard things of along the lines of like player model mods and even full-on game replacement mods, like like how Call of Duty, older Call of Duties have it. People make a completely new game out of the engine. So I mean,
oh yeah,
we'll see what we'll see what the future holds for that.
So I could go and put myself in the game. Put a senior model in there.
As long as you have it.
Now, one thing that you were mentioning is about the server. Now, will there be dedicated servers?
I'd like to have both. I'd like to have peer-to-peer for people who want to just play a simple online game with other people. But I'd like to also have dedicated servers so people, they'll have more control over the servers they have. So, and that'll go back to, like the mods and certain settings, and I mean, plugins maybe even. So, there'll be like a choice for both people, So
yeah.
you want to just hop in and just play, you don't want to go through all the server setups and stuff like that. You can just hop in a game just like you do with Forza. But if you want to set it up a certain way, like on a set of Forza, I mean, you can do that too.
So in other words, if we had a dedicated server, we could put on this map and only allow these cars or something, and that would be like an option on there.
I'd say if the map is a mod, I mean, most definitely. But for the peer-to-peer servers, I'd like to have certain settings of, obviously they're gonna restrict certain drivetrains, certain cars, certain things like that. So
that's really interesting, because that's going to say allow people to compete against each other more fairly. That will.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to have just under 300 horsepower cars on a certain circuit, you can do that. If you want to have full-on drift machines only, you can do that too.
Now, another thing that I thought I'd mention as well, I'd ask you, will virtual reality and TrackIR be available in this game at all?
If I ever do get my hands on any units, that I'd definitely be up to add support for them, but I know they're very expensive at the time, so I don't have access to them right now. But if I do have them in the future, I'd be more than honored to do that.
Cool. So that'll actually make it so much more realistic, adding that in there. So maybe a possibility in the future, depending if you can get one.
Yeah.
Anyone out there who would like to donate a TrackIR 5 or a virtual reality headset, please let me know and I'll send them on to Nick. To Nikko. Now, one other thing that I was going to ask you, and I did forget what the question was, so It just came to my head before and I just forgot it just then. So what we'll do now is we're going to open up the chat for people to ask questions to Nikko. So if anybody in the chat does have a question for Nikko and you would like to talk to him about that, then now is the time. And what we'll do is we'll get Lean, which Lean's been working busy over there. Hi, Lean.
Hello.
Sorry, Lean, let me turn that mic back on. There you go.
Okay, there is a couple of questions. Captain Jesse wants to know, is the background going to look a little more realistic and less cartoony?
As far as sky-wise, I would say, yeah. It's mainly, everything's mainly a placeholder right now. So you can't expect, amazing quality assets while we're just using placeholders. So I mean, I definitely want to look into getting everything to look a lot more realistic. But I mean, graphics per se are I'd say they're on the back burner right now, so we could develop the game more, and then when it gets to that point, we could really focus on graphics and not to have too many compromises per se.
Now, one quick question from me: is there going to be anything to help people to learn to drift? Like, for example, my drifting on here sucks. So is there going to be like a, something to help me to learn how to drift, or is that?
I could implement like a drift assist that would help you from spinning out, but I think that would kind of hinder the physics because it'd be working against it.
Oh no, that's not what I mean. No, I mean like tutorials that say, hey, look, we want you to go and do you're new to the circuit, so we'd like you to prove yourself. Go and do a figure eight around 2 drums. So you got to learn how to do that figure eight around the drums in order to get to the next tutorial, which will then teach you how to do clutch kicking and stuff like that. So
okay, yeah. Tutorials in themselves, I do want to work on, because I've gotten a lot of comments and complaints about people, not even know how to turn their car on. So I mean, I definitely want to look into getting a full tutorial menu set up. So yeah, I definitely be open to adding that too. Apart from having the basics of turning and starting the car and other special features that are not like directly obvious to you. So
yeah, well, I think people should know how to start a car, shouldn't they?
I mean, you'd be surprised. A lot of people don't look into the options menu or the controls menu, and they just go straight to the forums and post, I don't know how to turn my car on. So I mean, it does get kind of a little hectic sometimes, but I can't expect everyone to know. So I try to be as helpful as possible.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Captain Jesse wants to know, what about bus drifting?
One of my teaser pictures on the forums actually showed that, so I mean, it's definitely coming.
Bus drifting. Is that a real thing, is it?
I'm not so sure. I've seen a drag bus before, but I haven't seen a drifting bus.
Yeah, I've seen a drag school bus, but not a drifting bus, but...
Okay. Alright, Sean Dix says, hey Nikko, I love the game concept. Now I play this game with a game controller, find it hard to drift. Any chance of automatic transmission?
Yeah, the next update will include automatic transmission and also a clutch assist for people that find it hard to use the clutch, or they don't like using the clutch, so when you crash your car doesn't turn on. So there will be those assists, and I will also be looking into more of improving the ESP control so it doesn't hinder you when you turn. So I know a lot of people use keyboards, and sometimes the ESP will knock you out or something like that. So I will be looking into improving the assist as well as adding automatic transmissions and stuff like that.
Are we able to turn those game sounds down a little bit more?
Little bit more? Sorry about that.
Sorry,
That was, I just had a crash then, and it really
yes,
did.
We know. Robert would like to know, will there be different locations around the world where we can drift?
The whole map will be unified into an open world, so it'll be based on different parts of the best drift spots in cities and stuff like that. However, through through mod support, you guys could add, you know, whatever locations you would want.
So I reckon there'd be some good places in Japan to go drifting. You know, down those up and down those mountains.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, that'd be awesome places to go drifting.
Mr. Skippy would like to know, why are the poles like gods, and will they be destructible in the future?
Oh, yeah, like this. Where I can't run them over.
Originally, I didn't think that the poles and signs and stuff like that would be too much of a problem because I myself wasn't running into them. But you know, as soon as the game was released, everybody was posting videos of them running into poles. And, you know, so
yeah, you didn't take into account the people who can't drive, Nikko.
Like me.
Captain Jesse wants to know, will you be able to put a key in the ignition to start the car? I believe we already answered that, didn't we?
I think he means an actual physical key. So you see inside here. So you're inside the car there, and you see the person putting the key in the ignition and turning? Like an animation or something?
I think that would be a cool feature if that's what he's pertaining to. I don't see a problem with that. I definitely like to get the whole a lot more animations going on inside the cockpit, so the driver just isn't turning his hand, you know, to use for the gear shift and pulling his handbrake and, you know, things like that.
Captain Jesse again would like to know, what about drifting a Screaming Jimmy engine?
Screaming Jimmy engine. Might need to elaborate a bit more on that one, mate.
Okay, I don't know. And then Skippy again would like to know, will there be a multi-layer drift garage like Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift?
Yeah, I don't see why there wouldn't be. I think it'd definitely be a nice addition to the map, because I know a lot of people like to drift mainly. So in addition to parking garages, you know, there would be like, you know, parking lots and other cool stuff to drift around and, you know, have your little car meets and stuff like that.
And as for the garages, though, you're going to be able to have multiple cars in there, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I did add a car changing system.
Yep.
So, you know, you can have unlimited cars basically of all different designs. You know, you're not only limited to one car now. So when more cars do get added, you have as much as you want.
Cool. So it all just depends on, once the currency system is brought in too, what your budget is as well. So if you can afford to buy that car.
Okay. Back to the... Sorry.
Just quickly then, will there be like a paper for trading post, you know, so for trading cars? So if you've had enough of a car, you can buy a car from, you know, sell it and somebody else can buy it?
Yeah, I'd definitely be open to that. I think that'd be a cool feature to have. And on top of that, I'd also, I mean, obviously I'd want to be able to have people, you know, sell their cars and all that stuff. And I'd also like to have, in addition to like a new car lot, I'd also like to have like a used car lot and maybe like a junkyard or something where you can pick up some parts, you know.
Oh, so you...
I think...
So you physically go around looking through the junk lot?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, you can have like certain timers on certain piles, and you pick one part. You say you get like a old diesel turbo, you know, you come back in a day and you'll be able to get another part, you know, something like that.
Oh, cool! That would bring it to a totally new level. That would.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, I'd also like, you know, with a used car lot, I'd like you to be able to buy like a old Honda, you know, with a rusted quarter pound, you know, stuff like that. So you can definitely add a lot more character to this game.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, back to Captain Jesse's Screamin' Jimmy engine, whatever. It was the V71 series and the V92 series heavy vehicles is what he was talking about.
Oh, trucks. He's talking about trucks.
Well, Captain wasn't here. Captain Jesse wasn't here when we started earlier. There was talk of trucks coming in.
Yeah, there was talk about drift and, was it drag as well? Drift and drag trucks?
I'd say it's up to your imagination.
And they will. He's going to try and work on rolling coal as well. So, and that was something that I said would really intrigue the viewers of Junior Senior Gaming, because that's something that they've been screaming for a long time.
Captain Jesse also wants to know, what about a GM fishbowl bus?
Fishbowl bus.
What? I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
We'll move over on to the next one. Would it be possible to add a beer can to the inside of the car, especially for senior? That was Mr. Skippy.
That'll be a modded feature, that one, I'd have to say.
And then Skippy also wanted to know, maybe in the future, an option in multiplayer to do pink slip drift races, which you spoke about earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. So the pink slip thing, the whole pink slip thing, you can challenge somebody for their pink slips.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be an interesting option as well.
Okay, I've run out of questions here.
Run out of questions. Well, look, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about at all, Nico?
I think we pretty much covered everything. Unless someone else has any more questions, I'm not really sure what else to talk about.
No, there's no more questions on this end here.
Cool. All right. I've noticed that my gauge is outside the window for some reason, but oh no, that's the map. Pfft, don't worry.
Oh,
I'm having a blonde moment there. I saw the map outside the window and I'm going, my gauge is outside the window. Oh, hang on, that's the map.
Oh, it's time to go.
Well, Nico, I'd like to say thank you very much for coming on to the Junior Senior Gaming Show and having a chat with us. It really is an honour to have you here. It really is. And we hopefully you can come back in the future, and when you get some more updates and stuff like that, we can have another chat as well and talk more about the game.
Yeah,
Sean does have a quick question.
Oh, okay,
big
yep.
Updates come in, so.
Any timetable for multiplayer?
What was that?
Any timetable? How long till multiplayer? Is
we're looking at a couple months, I'd say. It all depends on how I structure it. If I want it to be basic in the beginning, maybe add stuff later, I'd say multiplayer would definitely be coming sooner. But as I said, I don't like to work on timelines because unexpected things happen. So when it gets close, obviously I'll tease it and maybe even have some testing going on.
My headphones just died.
Okay, well that's it anyway.
Yeah.
We'll
Can I just borrow yours to finish it off? Thanks.
No worries.
Sorry guys, my headphones just died, so I'm just switching headphones quickly while we finish this. Alright, there we go, sorry. Alright, so yeah, look, again, Nico, thank you very much for coming on today. And we'll, hopefully in the future, we'll get to have a go together. And maybe, when multiplayer does come out, we can actually drive together and have a few goes together, and you might be able to show me a few tricks.
Yeah, I'd definitely be up for it.
Well, look, I'd like to thank you again for coming on, and thank you, Lean, for reading the chat today. Much appreciated.
Okay, no worries.
And thank you very much to those people who stayed around to watch this very special interview that we had. It's much appreciated, guys. You will be able to re-watch this again if you missed anything. At later, well, I'll actually be putting it on in a couple of hours' time once it's finished processing. And also, Nick, I might, if it's all right, Nico, I might actually put it on the forum if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so that way people in the rest of the community can have a look at this as well. So, yeah. But look, guys, if you like this video, then don't forget to punch that like button in the ass. That helps us in so many different ways. And also, if you've not seen Junior Senior Gaming before, then make sure you head on over to the Junior Senior Gaming channel and check it out. And while you're there, why don't you hit that subscribe button as well. But until next time, guys, don't forget to keep the shiny side up and the greasy side down, and I'm 1010 on the side. And remember, game on. Is it beer time? I think it's beer time, Lean. It's time to go to the pub? No?
Are they finished talking to Nikko?
Hey, hang on. I'm still got the stream alive.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Well,
talking-
you can't go to the pub then if you
You
still got the
can't-
stream going.
I can't go to the pub. I need to go to the pub.
You can't just drop everything and go to the pub, you know.
Why not?
Because that's not how life works.